As I had foretold, my execution finally came. The Roman guards played rounds of Mancala amongst themselves as we three men hung, nailed above them, bare, tortured, and stretched across their sturdy wooden crosses. The large crowd which had followed the procession to this hill of death had departed a few hours ago, but I could still hear their unanimously hateful cries. "O citizens of Jerusalem, who buy everything but build nothing, who disguise mediocrity and sadism with elaborate ceremony and dress, who in seeking guidance and judgment turn to men as unknowing as yourselves." Soon the stars appeared in the night sky, but one was different. It was small, red, and its seemingly short distance from this land inspired a new curiosity and a sense of adventure. After my death, I would not be joined with my father in the throne room in the kingdom of heaven. I had other plans. Accompanying me on my trip to the red and mysterious planet of Mars was my good friend Julius. He had very peculiar traits for a man. He was mute, covered in hair from head to toe, and walked on all four limbs. I was initially very concerned about how Julius would behave in the absence of females, so before we left I performed a quick surgery on him to remove all doubt. As we approached our destination, a number of questions entered my mind. Did the inhabitants of this planet live in peace with one another? How did they treat their criminals, their sick, their poor? Did they live in love and deference to God? As I thought to myself, I could not ignore the brilliant red spectacle which now lay before my dwarfed spacecraft. After landing on the Martian surface, I constructed a campsite for Julius and I. There was no immediate sign of life, so I decided to explore and survey this strange new land. At last it appeared before me, the Martian city. The next day I would introduce myself to these blessed people of Mars and inquire about their unique and independent existence among the planets. When I returned to my campsite, I found that a Martian had invited himself into my tent. I was fascinated by the strange instrument he held in his hand, as well as the unusual manner of his speech and gait. But this fascination did not last long. When the Martian authorities arrived at my tent the next morning, I realized that this seemingly innocuous intruder had in fact been announcing my impending arrest and detainment. I was brought to the courthouse at the center of their city. It was here that I learned that this planet was no only stranger to Earth, it was one of its largest colonial establishments. I was patient and followed their orders, charged with operating an unregistered spacecraft and making an unauthorized landing. An immediate inquiry into my purposes and identity was made. I was placed under the legal counsel of a defense attorney. He appeared to show caring and concern toward my case, but I knew he secretly ridiculed and despised me and dedicated very little actual time and effort in preparing my legal defense. My sentencing finally came. The courts had learned of my fatal transgressions on Earth. I was convicted of being a criminal status offender, promptly removed from the Martian city, and told that if I approached within 500 feet of the city's security walls, I would be killed on sight. Now released from the city as an exile, I returned to my campsite on the desert flats. Julius was waiting calmly when I arrived, but there were teeth marks and blood all over his cage bars. I asked for his forgiveness. Permanently stranded and displaced from all society, Julius and I lived as children during the day, careless and free. However, when the night fell and Julius was comfortably asleep, my mind followed its darkest paths of thought and spun its most convincing illusions. Thankfully, the rising sun on the horizon and Julius's waking yawn interrupted these haunting and cowardly ruminations until the following night when I would enter this dreaded state of mind again.
Jesus.
Who's there? Who's there? Where the fuck am I? Where the fuck am I? I just want Mary. I just want Mary. Where am I? I didn't want to get crucified. I didn't want to get crucified. I want to just live a normal life. I don't want to be in heaven or hell. I don't care where I am. I just want to get home. I just want to be home. I just want my mother, Mary, and Mary Magdalene, Judas, with somebody. such a good friend. Judas was such a good friend, too. Ah! So what if he betrayed me? It doesn't matter right now. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm fucking dead. I'm motherfucking dead.
My journey to Mars had taken a baffling turn. As I prepared to finally ascend to the kingdom of my father, I realized that the most torturous hardship I faced was not the cruel Martian courts, nor the vacuous monotony of Martian desert, nor even my enraging nocturnal delusions. It was admitting that by choosing to travel to this once alluring and mysterious planet so many years ago, I was wrong.